Okay, so today's topic is being black in a one time. First of all, I really love my title I came up with.
Yes.
But it's basically about, black celebrities on the top of their game and the things that come with it, good and bad. The first thing I put up on my Facebook status was, what responsibility do you feel that the celebrities have? And what would you like to see them do, basically? And we got one comment that said, I wish more would flex their muscles like Beyonce and Kendrick. They hold a lot of power to reach the masses. I wish there were more rappers that took a stand to bring more unity in our communities and push for families, being a better person, how to build your own, etc. It's a lot of pressure to put on them, but why not? Thoughts? Okay, or you want me next? Go ahead.
No, we can thought by thought it. It makes sense. I feel like we have to piggyback on that. We have had a role model episode as far as celebrities and what type of weight they hold in their communities, basically. Mm-hmm. And I think that if you on one spectrum, it's like this is your job. Yeah. To be a celebrity, not to be a celebrity, but whatever you're doing that made you known, that's your job. So your obligation is to do your job and fulfill those duties. Right. But at this day and age, I also feel like being black in America, if you have certain platforms and if you know that you can be
influential.
Yes. If you can be influential, it's like, why not? Because at the same time, if you weren't in that space, you would probably be one of the ones saying, if I could, I would. Yeah. So it's just one of those type things. I feel like if celebrities have the ability to do things to enhance how people feel about being black in America, to make us want to rally or whatever it may be, make a change, period, then I feel like they should do it. And 9 times out of 10, we listen because kids listen to music.
Well, the only reason I say I don't agree with the why not part is because, everybody's not called for that. They're not pulled to that. They're not passionate about it, or they may not even care enough. So I think that when you think about somebody that may be, I think two things. It's important to realize that everybody has a lane. So take Beyonce, for example. Beyonce's not an over public person. You don't know about her. She's not tweeting, all that stuff. So everything we know about her, we know from her music. So if she wanted to make a stance as she wanted, she did it musically. It was a performance thing. She's not going to go out and, make a long speech somewhere. So that's her lane and that's her thing and it works for her. But at the same time, the reason I said you can't say why not is because it could be somebody that, so often we get caught up in just the music, the TV and whatever, but it can be somebody that has a big company that never does anything for minorities. Mm-hmm. They could be successful, but if they're not called to make a difference in any kind of way that they can, they just don't. That doesn't make them, less of a boss of their company, but that's just not their, that's not their lane. So I think, it kind of goes both ways. I think we just always get caught up in the actual TV celebrities.
Yeah, and like you said, I definitely do feel like it's about if you can do it. Like, don't be like, I once be thinking French Montana going, do some Black Lives Matter campaign, and it's no offense to him and what he may or may not stand for, but it's just like certain things, if people don't do it, I'm not surprised because like she said, everybody has their own lane and you have to stay in
it. That's the tricky part when you want people to do something, because when you want them to do it, you don't get to control what they do and how they do it. I.e. Stacey Dash. She speak up about what she believes, but if it's not what we believe and it making her or us feel her look stupid and whatever, now we like Stacey Dash, shut up. So that's the thin line where you want people to say something, when they speak up and they twist it and they don't say it right or convey it right, now you like, he needs to shut up and stick to what he's doing. So it's like,
and even to go on that,
which is probably why a lot of celebrities are scared to do, maybe to do stuff, whether it's endorsements or just their fans, because once you speak out, people are gonna pick a side real quick.
And that goes with what recently happened. Kevin Gates did an interview, and he was basically saying it's not Black Lives Matter, it's all lives matter type thing. And a lot of slack he's caught for that, because at the end of the day, you got to know, like, it is Black Lives Matter, and you got to know the reasoning behind it. But as we also have said too, Black people also have to know themselves that Black Lives Matter.
And you have to also know that to say all lives matter, do you know the background of why people were saying that? So you can't jump on all lives matter, because what he was trying to say was that he's been brutally handled by the police, but he acted out of character. Mm-hmm. First of all, that's irrelevant, because we're not talking about people that are being.
We're just talking about.
We're not talking about people that are. No, we're not talking about people that did a crime and are getting. People are getting shot with no guns, no nothing. So if you did something wrong and you got hit, that's another subject even in itself. But that's what he was referencing, saying that all lives matter. But he might deserve what he got. But it's like, you need to know the stigma that why people are saying all lives matter. Why are we saying Black Lives Matter? So that you can pick an informed side and not just be talking out the side of your neck.
Right, and that's kind of what happened. So the next comment we got, the comment says, if our heroes, quote unquote, don't set the tone for our social cultural climate, then we're in trouble. As a parent, I find myself very child-centered, and that's what I think is really all about. The children, the future. The media propagates both the hype and fall of our stars who exercise choice, i.e. Marshawn Lynch and LeBron. When my son grows up, right or wrong, he will know he has a choice. The expected choice for Black people is either considered wrong or perceived submissive. We got to show them that there is more. I'm all for entertainers, athletes, etc. speaking out and standing up. They still live in the real world.
And before we go into this, y'all let us know what y'all think about the responsibilities of an athlete or a celebrity or anybody that's in
being Black and on top. Do y'all feel like something extra should be done, or is it okay for them to just stay where they at?
The only thing I'm going to say is that about her comment is, like, I really hate when people talk about children as it pertains, even though children aren't, easily influenced. I said it before, you raise your child. What happens, even if your child does get influenced by something else, if they have, like, a foundation, they're not going to let this other image take them all the way left. They might go with a fad, they might be a teenager, whatever, but at the end of the day, your household or your parents, they should be instilling, right and wrong and stuff into you, basically. But as far as the athletes go, I really don't like to put athletes in the category, even though a lot of people look up to them, because you can't do what you don't know. And a lot of athletes, that's the first person to get out the hood, and, they were built on their talent. And that's it. That's why they, lose money and all these things. So it's kind of like you put a lot on somebody that kind of didn't know better. Like, granted, we have athletes that turn out great, that were single parents and came from the hood. It happens. But to say that all athletes should be this because people are looking up to them, that takes a level of maturity to even recognize that you're in that type of position that people don't have. Everyday people don't have that. That know that people are looking at them. So it's
our age. Right. So, and a lot of
popping out of high school.
And a lot of popping celebrities right now are 26, 27, 28. We have some comments though.
Yes, Jasmine said parents need to be the best role models. A celebrity shouldn't be the only good representation for your child. She says, are not even just parents, but family members, community leaders, church people, local celebrities, all of them, not just Drake and Beyonce.
Correct.
Drew G said, that's not their job, but like y'all said earlier, it's who has the influence. As a parent, you should be putting in the right and wrongs of life, the truth and lies. And nothing's wrong with liking a celebrity. We said in our role models episode, looking up to certain parts of them, and maybe she runs her own business, and maybe, whatever you like about her. But when you start, the lines get blurred between real life and their life and your life, and it's all jumbled into one, that's when the problem comes.
And then it becomes, when they do something, it's an issue.
Yeah.
And even with Black people, like, I've seen, let's start off with Cam Newton. Cam Newton got so much heat, has been getting so much hell since he's been in the NFL. And when we lost the Super Bowl, the thing that bothered me most wasn't even the loss. Like, I could deal with that. It's like, okay, like, quiet as kept, Panthers been taking L's for 10 years. Like, it is what it is.
We was hoping for the best.
Right.
Yeah.
But to see so many Black people against a Black man that didn't succeed is the real issue. That's when we have to go back to Black Lives Matter.
Ooh,
because at the end of the day, the suicide rate for Black men is very high. And not to say that Cam Newton would commit suicide or not, but you never know what type of pressure a person is under. You never know what a person is going through, what comment, what thing can spark a person to take their life. You never know. And for it to be his own people to be against him so gung-ho, I'm going to tap you in.
And Cam Newton is opposite of everything I just said about an athlete. He's somebody that is aware he's a role model, that had two parents in his life. You know, he appears to be, you know, a good person, a good guy. And I was talking to my dad about it, and I said, we want people to go on a limb and speak for us or do something for us, but what are we doing for them? You know, if we love Cam Newton when he was dabbing, when he was winning, when he was taking pictures with Jeezy and Future on the sidelines, but when he didn't speak in the press conference, everybody like, oh, nah, he did. And then people love to say, just because I'm black doesn't mean I have to support every black person. Correct, absolutely. You can support who you want. But just because you're black doesn't mean you have to outwardly speak down on a black person either. Exactly. Like, I have a lot of white friends. I don't hear them talk about washed up celebrities. Black people, we join together for one thing, the shade room. Like, we don't get together for all the good things that people are doing. It just doesn't make any sense that somebody would have been so supported and then by those same people clowned or told that they weren't, you know, they wasn't all this stuff. And it's just like, why would people believe in us when we don't even believe in ourselves?
Right, and that's what it goes to. It's just like, you can't be the people to always want, and then when you have somebody in the position doing just that, we still bash this man. Cam Newton does a lot. He met with every kid that he gave a ball to. It's like 10 of them. They all met at the field. He threw passes. He gave them inspirational talks. Like, everything you would want that iconic athlete to be, he does it. And because he doesn't bring a trophy back to a city that he's not from, everybody's bashing his head.
And the saddest part is that the media, who's predominantly white, was selling us the story on him that we were now feeding into.
And we always do.
Do y'all see this, or am I bugging? Like,
everything is fed to us for us to feed into it, and we feed into it. And that's where we go wrong as a black race. Like, we got to know that it's deeper than us.
Yeah.
Bigger than us.
And I'm going to read her comment because I have a point I want to make. Ivory said, to whom much is given, much is required. So regardless, celebrities are always held to a higher standard. The issue with that is they're just normal. That's very true. I always say that. Celebrities are normal people. But the thing I think that's important is that like I said, some people don't have it in them to speak on political issues. Because even though people now know what a celebrity requires, people also, some people are just want to do their talent. Like, Beyonce wants to sing. She didn't know, I mean, she want to be famous, but she's not. We're just now getting to the point where celebrities that are starting now are going to be bred to be this, you know, crazy, where we all in their business. Like, that's not where older celebrities come from. And so sometimes when you have somebody that's just trying to go and just, oh, I just want to play the trumpet. Oh, I just want to play football. You know, whatever. And then you put all these other things with them. You can't really blame them because they wouldn't be a huge star if they didn't have fans. So since we like exactly what they're doing, which is their talent, we can't then like them so much to put them here with that and then say, now do all of this other stuff with it. Right. Like, that doesn't make sense. Now, if I get on and then I don't talk nothing else about black people, then you can say, Pierre, you used to be. But
right, because that's applied.
Yes, but if people are just making mixtapes and they just want to be designer clothes, and then when they get famous because y'all like their product, now y'all demanding more of them, you know, it's kind of like when these people have signed on for this and they told them they want you to do this before. You can do your music, but you got to do this, and this. You know, I don't think people would agree to that.
And that's another thing, like, the required, like how you were saying, it's like, is it required? And it's just like, as regular people, us not even being celebrities, you know, we have an opinion when things happen. And we don't even always get on Facebook and talk about everything, you know, that happens or everything that go on. And it's almost comparable to a relationship. Like, I don't always have to say what's going on. I don't even have to let you know I'm in a relationship for you to know that I'm good. You know, just because all these black artists that don't necessarily come out and speak upon things that's going on, it doesn't mean that they're not against it. It doesn't mean that they don't feel it. It doesn't mean that they're less black.
It doesn't mean that they're really with it either.
Right. It doesn't mean more or less, you know, because at the end of the day, even like once we become famous, some stuff we just not going to say nothing about. And that's normal because there's things that I don't say about things about now. Yeah. Now, granted, you can't just act like nothing's going on. It's a It's a balance.
Yeah. And we have a comment from El Dunlap. He said people have to look at people for qualities they like and not fully invest and expect other people to lead us. Shoot, not even my parents are perfect, so there are things I wouldn't do that they do or have done. Everyone has to be aware and should require themselves and not wait on others. Very true. What was I gonna say? People. The other thing is, Black people are the only, in my opinion, the only group of people who feel they need a leader. You don't hear like, the head of the Native Americans, and but for years we've had Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, the same people that when there's a Black issue, you gonna see Al Sharpton, you gonna see Jesse Jackson. That's how it's legit. Mm-hmm. Nobody else, and those people are so outdated now in terms of relating to us. So it's like we're the only people that look for somebody to lead us. But to the point of what you were saying about how it's normal to not speak on things, this is something I told my dad. So when we ask all this, we require different things of celebrities, whether it's to speak up, tweet about it, donate, whatever you want them to do. I can only hope, and I'm not going to say this goes to our listeners because we kind of all have like minds, but the people that need to hear it, they're not listening. But
they're never listening.
Right. That's the thing about our show.
People that need to listen.
But the thing is, I can only hope and pray that y'all are requiring this much of the people in your circle.
Right.
Like, are you doing what you would want? If you live in Ferguson and you didn't go to a protest, don't talk about LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are living somewhere or something is going on and you haven't done anything, you can't talk about, because everything is relative. And as cliche as it sounds, Q Big Sean, one man can change the world. So that's just like the kids you see, the elementary kids that's like, that notice that somebody in their class don't have food and they tell their mama they want to start a canned food drive. Next thing you know, they're on the national news. Mm-hmm. You don't never know. So don't put all the weight in somebody that already has the resources when you could do something right now. So if you're not doing that, or your people you hanging with, if you're a Black person and you recording two Black people fighting, you're not helping.
Hello.
So if you're doing that on the level you're on, God forbid you get to the level they at, then you gonna get holier than then you gonna start, participating. And my daddy made a good comparison when I told him that before. He said it reminds him of church. He was like, you don't worry about what everybody else is doing. He was like, if the time thing come around, you only got $1, you put your dollar in. If the person beside you got 50, then they put their 50 in. You don't leave and say, I can't believe they only put 50. I know how much they make. Or you don't leave and talk about the person only putting $1 in, and you don't take your 50 back out because the person put $1 in. We all putting it together, hoping for the greater good to keep the lights on in the church. That's what you should be doing for the community. If it doesn't work,
it doesn't work.
Right, okay, but you don't get to say, but we don't get to say it didn't work because you didn't try. And I feel like that's what we doing. We trying to put the blame on other people, and it's like, that's not how it works. So shout out to my daddy because that was a great comparison.
And I'm glad he said that comparison because I was thinking about that when we was talking about celebrities and how we hold them up to a standard, and at the end of the day, they're normal. Mm-hmm. They go with like preachers and preachers' kids. I'm a preacher's kid, and sometimes it gets to the point where certain people that may know you from a certain way, they expect so much from you, but it's just like, at the end of the day, I'm just human. Like, my father doesn't have anything to do with me. What he felt like, what his calling was on his life, that has nothing to do with me personally. Just to say, a celebrity, I got this job to do what I want to do, and that's perform and write music and touch souls. I didn't get here to be a spokesperson for the Black Lives Matter unless I was some gung-ho history Black Panther movement kid in middle and high school, and now I'm definitely going to take this platform and double duo it and just go smack. It don't matter. Nobody's required to do. Nobody's required to say. And if you have so much to say about what somebody else isn't doing and you ain't doing nothing, you do it.
And we got a comment from Jasmine. She said, it's about principle. You are right that we should do what we can now instead of, if I was Beyonce, I would donate this or that. Because what you would do with $5, you would do with $500. That's what my daddy said. If you can't save $1, you can't save $100. But the thing is that, what I was going to say about, what did you say? Shoot. Oh, man, what was the last thing you just said?
If you're going to do it. Shut up. If you ain't. It was something you pointed to me on, but I don't remember what it was.
There was a comment made by what's the guy, Eric Dyson, Eric Dyson, the Black historian or whatever. When he was on the Breakfast Club and he was talking about, he wrote books about Barack Obama and like his politics and presidency or whatever. And he said that because so many people First of all, Barack Obama's at the top of this list about people that do something for the black people. But he talked about that Bernie Sanders could probably do more for black people than a black man could do for black people, because you have the black people not being satisfied with what you're doing. If it's anything, they're not satisfied, and then you got the black person trying to appease the other people to not make them think they're all about the black person. And so a lot of the slack Obama called was because of that. How black can I be? And I said it. We've had this discussion in my group chat before that Barack Obama was he was a trial black president. He could, but if he can't, ain't gonna be another one. Like, it might not be another one anyway, but if you go out here and that's gonna be like, for sure it's not gonna happen again. So it's kind of like, you gotta take baby steps. And I feel like so often people are like, well, what about this? And we could have did that. But it's like, hold on, stuff has to go progressively. And I also feel like, this is a different topic, but with the, like when I like to compare things to now and, back in the day, and you look at the people that's talking about like Beyonce and her Super Bowl performance and all of that, when to me, like the SNL skit, it was like, Beyonce's black, what did she really do? But it makes me think of when the Olympians won and they put their black fists up. Like, they didn't do anything disrespectful to everybody else, but that was groundbreaking and news and, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. That doesn't mean, that's not anti-white, and that's what people are taking it as. It's like, when people stand up to be who they are, does not mean it's a threat to who you are. But unless you feel guilty.
And that's the big confusion. And it is guilt.
Yeah.
It's because so many people, white people now didn't sign up for their parents to be, for their greats to be.
Right.
Nobody signed up for where we are right now today at our age. And even older than us, we didn't sign up for the generation and for the world that we are in right now. But we are here. And the annoyance is when it's not recognized in the sense of at least acknowledge, at least know, let me know that like, don't act like this ain't what's happening. But it can't be acknowledged because it's not happening with the other.
But the other thing is that thing around where Beyonce standing up. Yeah, and said, be real if you have to be told what you should be offended about. And that's real, because today I told my sister I was going to ask some of my white friends I went to school with, what did they think about it? And they were like, one of them said, wait, what happened? When I told her why I was asking the question, like later on, she said, wait, what? So she was like, oh my God, I love Beyonce. Like, I think it's blown out of proportion. The other girl was like, white people do anti-stuff all the time. I think it's just because Beyonce's famous. They're not even looking at it like that.
They don't look at it like that.
Yeah, because they're integrated into a little bit more, modern life too. They have plenty of black friends or whatever. Yeah. But
it's two different spectrums.
Even when you told them that was a Black Panthers tribute, they weren't like, oh my God.
Black Panthers.
Yeah. Right. So it's like, and then it's a lot of younger people that would feel like that because that's how they were raised.
That Tommy. That girl.
She's just like 23
She's 23 going on a rant about stuff you don't know nothing about. Basically. But we have another comment too. This guy said, celebrity or not, I think whatever role you have or playing in whatever it is, being black, you should empower more, interact more, inspire more, provoke more. Most black celebrities or black empower is another model for another up-and-coming and aspiring black celebrity, or what power that person has, whether it's material or ideas or time. More empowerment, more inspiration, and whatever can touch the people.
And wouldn't it be amazing if everybody knew they mattered?
Wouldn't it be amazing?
Because the fact of the matter is, if you're a woman, if you're a man, if you're black, if you're white, if you're red, if you're blue, there's somebody that wants to do what you do.
What you doing?
Oh, that's right. So you're an inspiration to somebody. So it's like, I know Oprah always says Diana Ross was the first person she saw that looked like her. She don't look like her, but she looked like her to her then. And Diana Ross didn't get up and make a political statement either. She was just following her dream. So I don't think that you always have to be so, woke, quote unquote, to inspire somebody. But if everybody knew that they could inspire somebody or possibly inspire somebody, people would carry themselves better. And we got a comment from Yobi-Wan Kenobi. Hey, he said most of these artists used to shucking and jiving around to be cross-platform so they can sell.
That too. And that's where it goes. Like they have to be careful about the things that they say. It's like Pacquiao. This has nothing to do with race or anything, but he commented on homosexuals and it's basically saying male dogs don't have male dogs. And he got dropped from Nike. So it's like, was it Nike?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got dropped.
And
so it's like you got
a manager made a comment though saying that he was saying it to the Filipino audience or something like
that.
And that's them. It's common.
Yeah, that's their thing. And even
but that's public opinion. That's just like with domestic violence. If you're on the wrong side of an issue, you're getting dropped.
Just like Rick Ross dropped the bottle of champagne, and that wasn't even that.
You can't play with rape, domestic violence, or gay.
You can't play right, but it's like the real things that shouldn't be played with gets played with all the time. Who cares?
Well, the only reason I'm gonna say that's not the same thing is just because we talking about the what's the word the oppressed and the
depressed.
I don't know that's the word.
Oppressed.
Because when you're talking about somebody that's speaking on gays or domestic violence, they're on the other side of it. Yeah. Like the only way this would fly is if white people, not saying that they don't, but if this was a white artist that made a point about slavery, we could say that got blew over. But when you're black and which is why the white people are threatened, because you're black and you're saying something about it. But it's the opposite group, so it's a little different.
Yeah.
Another comment. I mean, did I have another comment? No, we read.
Oh yeah.
Oh, another point I was gonna make about staying in your lane though was, I think. Oh, I have another question too before I forget. But so another comment about staying in your lane, we have to realize that everything is within reason. So, like, I asked the question about, do you want your celebrity to tweet about it? Do you want them to make a speech? Do you want them to donate? And somebody said, tweeting it isn't nothing, they would rather them donate. Okay, cool. But I think you have to look at everything relatively, because right now, social media runs the world. If you can tweet something and get dropped from a ad, then you can tweet something and make a difference. So it can't be thrown away that it's just Twitter, because if you have 7 million followers and the people outside the world have no idea black people are being killed in the U.S., you made a difference.
Boom,
So sometimes people are like, all they did was tweet a hashtag.
But that's the world we're living in. We're living in a hashtag social media world.
And some people, like Beyonce and Jay-Z, donate a bunch of money and don't never say nothing. So, you can't always be so, like, cut and dry, basically. And then with the same thing, when you think of entertainment, like I said about Beyonce doing her song, that's her realm. Back in the day, Different World, they low-key got taken off the air because of their safe sex episode. They couldn't show a condom, all this. They lost sponsors, got pulled. But they were tackling light skin versus dark skin.
Same sex,
everything. And they were pushing the envelope, but that was their outlet to let African Americans know, like, people didn't know about that stuff. Like, it wasn't talked about.
African Americans, that's how we know
about it. And now we watch
college.
that show like it's rated G. But then it was like...
It was terrible.
Like...
And it's something even to be watched now. Like, I watch Different World, and some of the episodes resonate so clearer now, because when we were young watching Different Worlds, like, we could grasp it. Yeah. But the older you get and the more you see and the more you learn, you really can understand. Like, geez, like, some of them episodes I watched Clutching My Pearls that I didn't have on. It was like, dang, it's real. And it just show you that everybody, the people that want to talk about it, they use the outlets that they can to get it out.
Right.
And you gotta respect it. You can't ask for too much. You can't ask. You just shut up.
Which is why it's important to be well-rounded and to know something before you open your mouth, because a lot of people are doing things that may not be right in your face, because what's right in your face is what the media chooses to put in your face. So if you gotta subscribe to a different site to find out some news, then do that, and then you repost it and you show it, because people so often depend on the mainstream. And newsflash, the mainstream is for the main people. If you're a minority, it's not for you. You have to find other ways to find music, to find fashion. They're not catering to you. Like, black culture may be pop culture, but when you're talking news, we're not the main people, the main demographic they're aiming for. America said, personally though, if you could have one male and female to represent us, who would you want it to be?
Who already represent us?
Barack Obama, Michelle Obama.
Yeah, they
pretty popping.
And
they don't get and a lot of people think, they don't get the credit from some people. They haven't done enough. But I think that they've done a really good job of letting people know that they're black. Like with the Black History event they have in the White House, or like with the Martin Luther King, when they had
the dance, like everything.
The things that they do, it's still, they do what they can, like.
And surprise, a lot of things they've done, I'm shocked that they were even able to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, that's just like how I was saying about Kim and how much slack we gave him. Even Barack Obama, he's grayed out. This man is skinny. Like, he's been stressed. Like, his own people, I don't care if y'all say he ain't black, whatever people want to say. That man's skin is black. He's black.
Yeah.
And his own people, we have gave him so much hell. Everybody, I voted for him. He ain't did this.
And
he ain't did that.
20 years when your grandchildren, or 30 years, how long take with grandchildren? 50 years when your grandchildren are talking about it and learning in school, you're going to be the first one saying, I voted for the first president. I remember that. Because people love to jump on later.
On
which
the
is
bandwagon.
another point I had.
People love to jump on after y'all was against it the whole time.
With the black people and the support. So, black people, we love to say what's classic.
Yeah.
But we don't let things now
be classic.
We won't entertain the fact, which is why I would hate the word classic, because people hold it so dearly. But everything that was classic, that's classic to you now, was present to somebody then. So the fact that people hold that so tight, like with music, people when we watch it, oh, this was real music, this was that. Somebody grandma didn't like that music. That was secular music, and that was this. So it's like, imagine, you know how many one-hit wonders, quote unquote, there are, like old school music, like you don't know who sing your favorite, what's that song Jasmine know? I know who sings it, but a lot of people don't know who sings like Encore. You know what I'm talking? So of course. Yeah, I know you know. But a lot of people don't know who sings it, so to them it's a one-hit wonder. Now take somebody that we would classify as a one-hit wonder, maybe not even a one-hit wonder, but just they got hits, but you don't know all their songs. Like Ciara. Right. Ciara gets so much crap. People talk about her all the time. But if her songs are still playing on the radio in 30 years, we're gonna be jamming.
Oh yeah, girl, this was the thing back in the day.
Because we just tear people, pick people apart. Like, and it's unreal.
And that's what it comes down to. It's just like black on black hate is real. And I mean, I have to say hate because the things that we say about each other, it only can go in regards to it being hate. Like, there's no way that a lot of the things we say about one another, us being black in the culture, a lot of things we do, the recordings we post, the things we think is funny, and we're all are guilty of it, granted. But it's just so systematic, and we used to it now. And at this point, systematic is almost not even an excuse. It's almost like, okay, y'all, let's be Black Panther-ish. Let's unite, because those people were united, and the Black Panthers were young people, like younger than us. A lot of them 16, 17, 18 years old, ready to die for somebody to treat them right.
And that's in almost every phase. The Freedom Riders, everybody was
it's
in
always
college
something,
and high school,
right?
But Jasmine, true, she said Different World. We're watching it now, but it's been great TV.
It's been great, and somebody didn't like Different World.
Yeah, and that's true about all TV shows that we now say, are classic, and if we see another show that look like Different World, they trying to be like Different World. Newsflash, we need one, so it's not shade to say we love to say some trying to be like something, or I've been on that. It's like, can we just celebrate that it's a good idea, that it's popular, that it's about to be popular? It's like, the whole one-up on people is just ridiculous.
And it's just so important to support more than try to be one-up. Like, let's just support. Let's come together.
Yeah, it's like they wasn't singing goodies in high school. And the reason I thought about that point in the car was because somebody said how Ciara was the first, some stat. She was like the first person, when she came out, her CD did some numbers. Ashanti too. We'll clown Ashanti now. But it's like, those people in 10, 15 years will still be saying that about them. We'll be telling our kids.
Like, fact is fact. It is what it is. Regardless of if you liked it, if you didn't like it, your 1% don't have nothing to do with it.
And that's social media making you think you have to like a person, or, even though people do give you a lot of themselves, whatever, but they don't have no obligation to be the type of person you want them to be. If you like that song, you like that song.
True enough.
Anything else?
Crazy thing, I got a comment. Okay. Crazy thing is, the majority of us who down talk Obama and what he's done for our country are those who lack the knowledge or care to do the research. Yes. Our generation believes more of what we see on social media, and it takes it as the gospel. This generation see an IG post and take it as fact just because somebody else posted it.
Yeah, and that's like what Drew G was saying. The same people probably aren't voting either. And I think, I'm all about the people. You need to click on the headline.
Yes, and just like
the headline. Since the day it was made, was the purpose to get your attention. Granted, it used to be a newspaper, so it was right in front of you. You didn't have to click. But nowadays, on your Twitter feed, you have 8 things right now you can see. If you don't see what you like, but you see what you but you see something you might click on, you gonna scroll and try to see if you see something else you really like.
And
so by that time, all that registered in your mind was the headline that you read, and you didn't click on it to see, because headlines are made to be provoking and, you know, get your attention, so it might not always be the truth.
And you shared it before you even looked at the date.
Oh, Jesus.
That's another thing that annoys me. If we gonna try to be black and be all popping on what's going on, y'all don't be sharing stuff that was 5 years ago and you like shaking my head. Like, we shared, like, this is old. Like, this is 2011, and you posting it like you got some newfound information, and then because you posted it, monkey see, monkey do, it's all flying down everybody's timeline.
3 years later.
And it's like, bro, that's old. That already happened. Look at the date. Read. How about we pay attention?
And I think, going back to the presidency and stuff, I think when you are trying to, when I was talking about doing what you can to make a difference, and we talked about this in role models, I think, before too, going where you can to, you know, be a mentor, or to go and show the kids, you know, something. If you the one person, if you the only person you know in your neighborhood that know better, help them. You know, don't be the person saying, these people in my neighborhood, they, you know, try and make a difference. Like, that, it's simple as that.
And we got some comments. There will never be any more Obamas like love. There won't be.
No.
I'm going to call it how I see it. We have a generation of dick riders. People are afraid to be different. Just a bunch of trend whores and society hounds. And everybody swear they different. Pierre say all the time, if you so different, we all the same.
Yeah.
Because you trying to be different, he trying to be different. All y'all trying to be different, and y'all all looking the same, saying the same, acting the same, conducting yourselves the same.
And you know what? Not to take away from your point, but the term dick riders in itself is people trying to be trendy and be different. Because dick rider implies that they can do no wrong, you all on them, as opposed to just loving the person because you support them, you like their music, you think you respect their grind. People gonna be like, oh, you dick riding. It don't have to be all that. That negative connotation that comes with supporting somebody is ridiculous. Like, and then people are like, if you defend somebody, their favorite line is, do you know them? Dang, are they paying you? Are they paying you to be negative? Like, my thing is, if I don't know them and I can say something nice about them, why you gotta say something mean? Like, that doesn't make no sense. If neither one of us know them, let's take the high road. That's crazy. People be so passionate about something.
It's like, well, maybe.
Right.
You know, maybe they are cool. Like, we don't know them.
Yeah, maybe they're a great person.
Because we don't know none of these people.
Right.
All we know is what we see.
Yeah.
And judge that. And it's like, that can so be portrayed wrong. Like, somebody can watch our Ustream post and think we some dumb, stuck-up girls.
Birds.
We some birds. Somebody said we was birds. Like, you know, we get bad comments and we ain't even popping for real like that.
Hey.
You know, so I already know when niggas really pop off, it's gonna be lit. And that's fine.
Jasmine said, or like me hearing young girls complain about not having an older sister advice before going to college, so I'm just out here trying to spread the knowledge. Yes, my sister does a thing for freshmen every year where she answers questions they want to know about going to college because they don't have an older sister, because she had an older sister. And it
also, just like a older, younger sister example, it can also go for like, just to say, you know, some people don't have the leadership. Some people don't have it. Like how Pierre was saying, some people, you expect so much from a person that's never even had it. Nobody told them about the Black Panthers. All they know is black, white, cracker, nigga. They don't really know no facts. They don't know nothing. So it's like, you can't speak about it. You need the little sister to tell you what the big sister then told her, and that's the only reason why she know. So if mommy and daddy don't have the knowledge, the kid ain't gonna have the knowledge, and that rest of the cycle from that family, nobody's gonna have the knowledge, and it's just gonna be ignorance. Like, we have to teach ourselves. We have to learn ourselves.
And one point to piggyback off that, this is my last point, about knowing yourself and knowing better. We kind of back to how I was talking about people looking for somebody to represent us. We have to represent ourselves better. And not represent ourselves as in represent ourselves like everybody. I mean, represent yourself. Like,
personally.
You know, when you at work sometimes and you see the type of black people that you see, or the people that how they act sometimes, we have to represent ourselves, because if I don't know any black people and all I see is the people that at this store or the people that's on Love and Hip Hop, that's what I think. So it's kind of like, you have to be the representation that you want people to take from you, instead of looking for a Beyonce that they already know to do something for, you know, and show them what black people are, or, you know, whatever. So it's like,
and let's keep it funky. No matter what you show, whatever, it don't matter. That's just like Black Panthers, for example. Black Panthers were positive enforcers in their communities. They did positive things, everything. All they wanted was the good for the black community. They stood together. But today, if you ask a person, they were violent beings, but they did not get violent until the police got violent with them when they knew that people was out for their neck. Like, what I'm supposed to do if I know you're trying to kill me? I'm going to get a gun. It's kill or be killed. And that's what it was. They weren't violent people. They were great people. And that's what it go down to. It is what it is. Like, they're going to think about you what they want to think about you, but the least you can do is not give them something to talk about.
Yes. Which is a great segue into my quote of the day, honey.
And look at Chanel bossing up like
and
that.
I got this quote from the NAACP Image Awards, which I don't know if a lot of people watched them, but they were amazing. And so what happened was they were interviewing everybody on the red carpet. the black people on the red carpet, asking them about their 2 cents on the Oscars and how important was tonight to see people, you know, that look like you and look so nice and all that. And so I believe he was the head of he might either be the head of the NAACP Image Awards or the head of Century, but he was head of something that was going on that night. And he said, when they asked him what does he think about it or whatever and being included and all that, he said, it's not about who recognizes us or who ignores us, rather how we honor ourselves. Let me read it again. It's not about who recognizes us or who ignores us, rather how we honor ourselves.
Indeed.
Which is what I was just saying, you know.
I was going to say, we just said that.
You may never get the recognition you want a day in your life, whether it's from your parents, from your school, from the academy, from wherever you're looking for recognition. But if you know you're carrying yourself well and presenting your best self and helping somebody and doing something good,
and it's like, okay,
it can't be ignored.
Right, and it's like, okay, so what if you don't get recognized? You just not gonna do it no more because you want somebody to recognize you. Yes. Like, and that's another thing wrong with us. We always want some acknowledgement for something. Like, just do it. You don't have to. Don't nobody gotta know what you doing. That's what we talk about too. Talk less, do more. If you doing right like that, the way the Lord work, niggas gonna know what you doing. Like it's not gonna be no other way for it not to come out that you've been doing this good for so long. Whether it shows in what you reap, your materialistic things, whether it shows in the wealth that you just continue to get, whatever way it'll show, and people will only have to accept that you are doing something great with yourself.
Basically,
I'm here for it.
I agree.
Black Lives Matter.
We got a little passionate today.
We did, because passion is what it is.
Yes. You got to start the conversation.
And that's what we be trying to do. And if we can get 15 more people to listen, like, because this was informative. This was great. So great dialect, great conversation.
Facebook, repost it, please. Everybody that's listening, because I know y'all see us post it, so we can get more subscribers and all that good stuff.
Because when we blow up, you don't want to be the one lying saying you was on the bandwagon. And you wasn't. The blow up. Shout out to Martin for the first person dabbing.
Oh, gosh.
You said, folks.
All right, well, we won't be here next week.
We won't be in Friday.
But we'll be back the week after that.
With some hot and heavy hitters.
We'll let y'all know, though. But in the meantime, I'm Pierre Javon.
I'm Nelly P.
And this is Fair Game.
Life is not fair.
But we definitely are today.
Mama, I love you.
Uh-oh. We was so fair.
We always fair, for real. Why you think they call us what they call us?